let's pretend that what I'm saying has any rooting in reality, okay? You're a man, you're a woman, your people have been conquered by a force. You're both slaves. The woman by nature will submit to that authority and become the woman of that authority. You will be castrated. If you're not killed, they'll probably kill you off, but in a couple of generations, there'll be new sons. You'll be a little servant. But there's still your father in you, and you're still technically a man, but not really. Your instinct is to want to be a man, but you don't know what manhood is. So you look at the system or the representatives of the system and you say, I should be like this. Me too, I can be like this, and I will have women and riches to buy things and have women, which is what they have, which are the symbols of power. Keyword, symbols of power, which is what every man seeks, because manhood is power. Not power over, but you don't know that because that's all you see. So there you go now, try to be a good doggy, thinking that the system is reality. This is what I'm trying to say. People think the system is reality. The system is not reality. It is a reality built on reality, just like the metaverse is a fake world built on our system. Do you understand? So society or the system is not reality. It's built over reality. And the metaverse and that online universe is built over society or the system. It's the same. This is what's such a special time now, because we have perfect examples to illustrate the situation. So you are from reality, living here thinking that this is reality and subjugating yourself to the rules and laws of that world, thinking that this is how you achieve manhood, but this has got nothing to do with your nature and the way it's actually supposed to be. Hence, you're lost and confused. We can call you diseased. The woman somehow mysteriously has a link with the underlying reality. She does everything in her power to push it away, push it aside, but still one day she'll be pregnant. For now. Which reminds her of nature, her nature, and that power that you and I, as men, have a hard time to fathom. So, when you look at her, you see, oh, this is supposed to be my counterpart, but my counterpart is loyal to him, whatever that is. So here you go, try to rise the ranks of this nonsense. If you do happen to be in exchange with her, you can feel. If you're sensitive and if you're not just trying to come, I'm not able to appease her. There's something fundamentally in her that's unable to be appeased. Doesn't matter how much money I have, doesn't matter how big my dick is, doesn't matter how strong I bang her, doesn't matter how much I hold frame. There's something deep inside of her. If you're perceptive, now that's why men are not perceptive. They're disconnected from themselves and their sensitivity, their sensefulness. But let's say that you have access to this, and let's say you're honest, okay? I'm unable to reach her. Yeah, so try to understand why. Because she comes from reality and so do you. She's now, we're literally like in a movie. She's not herself, she belongs to him. But deep down inside of herself, she's still there, but that's totally buried. And here you are, you have no idea that that even exists anymore, trying to be like that, and then you interact with her, and you're lost. You don't even know. How then are you a man with her? You don't understand her situation. This is what I'm trying to say. Her situation is your situation. It's our situation. It's the human being situation. But let's take it to her. You don't understand her. So if you approach her, and let's say, for the analogy, she's a little animal. You don't understand where is her wound. Because you take the facade as the person. She's this, she's that. You don't see the wound. You don't understand. You don't understand the shiver where it comes from. You don't get it. You don't understand. You don't want to see it. Because if you see it, it confronts you to your reality. You're a slave. There's another underneath reality. You've lost total touch with it. So much that you don't even know that it exists or how to operate in it, even if you had access to it. And your woman is now a slave in that system. And there's nothing you can do about it. Not only that, you don't even understand this system or the way out. And here she is, and you're trying to have a conversation with her. And if, let's say, you're trying to hint towards this, it scares the shit out of her because it threatens her life. Her life is subservient to the master. And if you now, you're a little weird and you start like put the pieces together, but not totally and not fully, and you don't, right? And you want to talk about it, you're like creating distress. You're like, yo, dude, don't say these things. Don't talk like this. You cannot appease her, really. You cannot touch her, really. And you don't have the power. Let's say that you do. Let's pretend that you could, quote unquote, awaken her. You need to have power on your side. But you don't. So if she slips out for a moment from this comatose state and realizes her reality, she'll go insane. There's nothing to support her. She'll turn against you and want to kill you. You're the enemy now. Is this not what we see? So this makes sense in the big picture or a picture that I'm presenting to you, which there is reality, and over it there is an intelligence that has constructed a system in which human resources live, and they have taken that system as reality. But that system doesn't follow the rules, the laws of nature. Dharma, no. It follows its own rules, and it has its own agenda. And its agenda is not your or her well-being. It doesn't care about you or her. It cares about itself. You're the food. It's like you go to a butchery. Is that a word? A place where they have cows. The guy caresses his cow, feeds his cow, right? He looks kind to the cow. I'm going to kill you in a day. He doesn't care about the cow. His actions are not based on love and compassion and appreciation for the cow. I care about you because I'm going to kill you and make money. So if I need you to caress you and be nice to you, I will. And if I need to whip you, I will. Whatever I need to get what I need. That's what the system does to us. Tell me I'm wrong. If I need to put him down or her up, or I don't care. Whatever I need to do to get to where I want to go, I'm going to do that. I don't care about you. And this is the world we live in, and this is what people take as a reality. Most people take this as a reality, which is it's a zoo, it's a hell. And most people take this as a reality. So some people can't stand it, yet they're subject to it. Try to opt out, you can't. Not like you can't opt out because you want to opt out, right? Some other people are intelligent, they're saying, well, this is what the game, I'm going to play the game. There's a form of enjoyment in the game. If you tune yourself to a certain kind of frequency of the 5 energies that I spoke to you about, let's say you're good with anger, I'm going to tune myself to anger, you ride that flow, you become good at that, and it gives you riches and opportunities and whatnot, and yeah, okay, but that's how that person chose to cope with the situation. That's definitely a form of intelligence. Well, the person who says, I want nothing to do with that is also a form of intelligence, and the person who says, I'm going to go monk, fuck all of this, I'm trying to opt out. is also a form of intelligence. Do they work? Who am I to judge? Don't work for me. I don't see how it can work. This hasn't changed the situation. So what we're witness when we study people and their behaviors, we're witness to their strategies to cope with the situation. So I'm not going to tell you if it works or doesn't work. Look for yourself, decide for yourself, but quite obviously there is one direction, that the direction is ongoing and has not stopped, and the situation is not improving. Well, it's improving for that intelligence, but not from our perspective. It's taking us further and further and further away from our reality. That's what I'm trying to say. So those people, there's, everybody's seen Hare Krishna people and they sing their songs, and now I don't know what they do. At least in Canada, they'll have to wear a mask when they sing songs. Song won't be as good, right? I don't know, right? But so the basic premise of their philosophy is something similar to this. I'm not saying you should adopt their religion or not. I'm saying, but like Christianity, it has an ideological understanding of reality. It's like, well, literally, there is dharma, which is reality, adharma, which is false reality, and everyone is a slave to the false reality, and that's why they're miserable and suffering. And in order to find peace and harmony, one has to go back to the essence of life. This is Krishna, which is the representative of Dharma, the eternal. And by tuning yourself to this, they won't necessarily say tuning, but they have techniques to help you to tune yourself, your mind to this, so that you can live a sattvic life, meaning pure, not here, but in reality. Okay, so this is what the Hare Krishna. I'm simplifying, but this is what they're saying. So these ideas are not novel, but it's basic understanding. So again, to wrap it up, humanity has been taken hostage by an intelligence. Where it comes from, this is another subject. But clearly, that intelligence is using human as resources to fuel it, to develop it, and to create a body for it. That world that is created, which we call the system or society or whatever you want, doesn't care about you. It's not for you. You're the food. What it did need was you to do the work, and what it did need from the woman is that she gives birth to new workers. Male workers to do the heavy lifting, female workers to give birth to new male workers to do the heavy lifting. As I've said in an earlier series, first thing we need to do is make sure that the man and the woman are at war with one another. It was fairly easy to do because that power is superior to the man's weakness. Man's connection to life was very weak. And it's very easy, so she's now subject to this. So now she's now worshipping that power, and you're now worse than worse. They've separated you from her. Look around, see what you see. This is not fantasy. And the history of humanity, let's say the past 5,000-6,000 years, right? Well, it's a former story. Now we need the men to do the heavy lifting, and now we've built the zoo. This is what we're entering. We have built the zoo. I don't know sometimes if people understand this. In about 2 seconds, there's not one part of our world that is not 100% controlled and monitored. This is a technological revolution. The zoo is ready to enter its new phase. It doesn't need all the labor. We're done. We need now to harmonize the zoo for its next iteration. And we now want peace, harmony, quiet, and all the wonderful things of a so-called paradise on earth, so that we can advance our technologies, so that we can achieve our real goal, which is to conquer death, it's right around the corner. This is not going to take 100 years. It's there. If it's not already there, it's in a minute. And we don't need more idiots such as you. We need less, just a minimum, to keep a certain balance and to continue to have basic workers. And then we'll select the humans we want to be in our system, because these are the top ones. So if they do breed, or they happen to breed, it will be not like some useless eater, a fool, an idiot, a drug addict. No, it will be like sharp mind, sharp intellect that we can train to find new solutions. It's already the top. That's some fucking moron. It's pretty obvious to me. So, if we want to have a conversation about men and women, I'm talking about a smart conversation, an intelligent conversation. We cannot have a conversation about men and women outside of the context of what's happening to humanity. Now, if I'm going too deep, fine. But you can clearly see that humanity is enslaved. And with a little bit of research, you'll understand that this enslavement isn't a new thing. It's an old story. So put in one and one together and add another one, it makes three, okay? You don't have to go esoteric and occult if it's not your thing. It doesn't really matter. But you cannot understand women and men and their relationship and their dynamics and what manhood is and what womanhood is outside of the context of what's happening. What we see happening in the so-called manosphere is what? They take society or the system as reality, and therefore analyzes men's behavior and women's behavior in the context of reality, which is not a reality. It is a false reality. And the very fact that you think it's reality shows that you're not a man. You're confused. That's what I mean, you're not a man. Not that you don't have a penis, you don't have a balls, you don't have qualities. No, you're confused. And the definition of a man is knowledge, clarity. And knowledge and clarity means power. Which power? The power of life. It got nothing to do with the system. The system rents you power. If you worship it, if you sell yourself to it, it rents you power temporarily. That's not power. They can take it away. You're a doctor. You think you have power because you can do this and this and this. They're not happy with you. You're not a doctor, now you're a charlatan. They put you in jail. That's not power. It's an illusion. Power comes from knowledge. Knowledge means clarity. It means the dissipation of ignorance. It means your nervous system is able to see clear. That means it's able to receive the data of life itself, which doesn't exclude the system. In the big picture, the system is not, it's part of life. It's the capacity to process that data in a coherent, intelligent way that is true. It vibrates, it's honest, and it makes you lucid. Now there's power. And that knowledge stream connects you to a greater knowledge stream. When I say knowledge, I mean power. I don't mean information or book stuff. I'm talking about power, life power. It connects you to power. The power of life, I like to call it the current of life, which is always there, has been there, will be there, unstoppable, unbreakable, unbendable, eternal. Call it what you like. That's the actual power. It's not a fantasy. It's everywhere. And technically, as a human being, and we're talking to men, you're supposed to be in tune with that power, which then empowers you. Not to gravitate and go at the height of society so that you could become the man and be worshipped by billions. Nah. In order to serve other human beings in the light of dharma, which means the way of life, the order of life, or the empire of life, if you'd like. Now that's deep for some people. Yeah, stop jacking off for a couple of days, stop drinking alcohol for a couple of weeks, stop fucking taking drugs, just sober up a little bit, and it's not going to be so deep. It's not so deep. From your point of view, it's deep. We've covered this before. I said it before. It's not deep. You're shallow. It's the difference. You're at the surface of the surface of the surface, and in a minute you're going to be in a surface of a surface of a surface of a surface of a surface. So it's from that light that man and woman are supposed to interact, or at least know each other. And what I'm saying doesn't change the fact that we are in a zoo. It doesn't change the fact that women are worshiping that false deity. It doesn't change the fact that men are broken, we have been broken, and that we have to go through a journey of reparation or whatever you want to call that. That doesn't change that. But how can we understand a situation if from the starting point we're confused and we confuse a system for reality because the system has its own laws? It's not the laws of life. The system's very nature is trying to cheat nature. It's trying to bypass. If you do something wrong, no, scratch this. In the system, you have a disease. The disease is due to a fault of the body. It has got nothing to do with the fact that you've done everything against nature, which results in a disease. Instead of adjusting yourself, teaching you to adjust yourself to the laws of nature, it gives you something to make the symptom disappear. What is that? We are annihilating the laws of nature, the laws of life, and we're going to superimpose our will. That's the system. I'm not here to judge it. I have no opinion about it. It is what it is. So when you operate in the system, it's not interested in your well-being, and your well-being depends on your alignment to the law. Not the law of the fucking popo, the law of life, the law of nature. That is what you belong to. These are the commandments you have to live by. Not through your mind, through your nervous system. It passes in you, it guides your actions. Just like the doggy. And if you know anything about society and the hypocrisy of it, what do you discover? Yeah, there's laws. These laws apply to you. They don't apply to the rich. These laws that are supposedly there to represent the emancipation of mankind and honesty and democracy and truthfulness and equality, these are there for you. They're not there for the people who are at the top, who operate under greed, anger, attachment, ego, and lust, and are there to take. They don't give a fuck about those laws. These laws don't apply to them. They follow the real laws of the system, these 5 energies. Anyways, like I like to say, food for thought. Think about it.